Hello everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another video. So today we're going to work on the Corona knot ring. And this ring goes along with the Corona knot bracelet and the Corona series in general. And if you want to spread it out a little, the full moon and originally the eclipse series. So it's has been a really fun series to work on. So here's the ring. I made it two-tone. This is in jet and nickel silver. Here's one in the metallic bronze, and this looks gray on camera, but it isn't. It's actually a green mix, which I will put the colors to both of these in the description box below the video. I'm going to make it in some matte colors today, two different colors, and we're going to use 11-0, so that's why I'm going to, make it in matte so it's easy for you to see. So that being said, let's get a materials list going. All right, so wait, before we get the materials list going, I just wanted to mention a couple of things. One, I was looking at my YouTube channel, and I have about 145 videos up there now, or close to it. So what I've done, and what I've done really all along, but I've really made an effort to do this and make it really easy for you to find a video. I've put everything in playlists. Now, the videos are all together, as usual, on my page under videos. It'll be the most recent video to the very first video at the very end, but I've also divided them into playlists. So, and I've done a few different types of playlists. So I have playlists just for rings, and playlists just for bracelets, and playlists just for necklaces and such. And then I've further divided it into the Corona series. And so the Corona series will have all the Corona pieces, whether it's the knot ring or the regular Corona ring. And then let's say if you wanted to do the bling series, all the bling pieces will be in one place, but they'll also be under bracelets and necklaces. So it's going to be so much easier for you to find a video, and you won't go crazy looking through all those videos. I know I would. Okay, so that's one thing. And the second thing is that I'm going to start with this video. I'm going to start putting all the materials, besides the materials in the description box, I'm going to be putting links to all the if I have them, all the places that I've purchased my materials. So the seed beads, the thread, the clasp, the needles, everything, if I have them, will go in the description box. So that way, if you want to know where I found the clasp, you don't have to wait for me to answer it. Just always look in the description box below the video. There will also be coupon codes when I have them. Like this is Ringberry's matte, and the coupon code is still going on, so I will put that in the description box below the video as well. So there'll be a lot more information in that description box. So don't forget to look, because there's important stuff down there. All right, so that's one other thing. So a couple other things. All right, so we'll do the materials list as I do this. So what you're going to need for this is you're going to need 11-0 seed beads. I'm going to use these, and I'm going to pull out a teeny bit so I can get everything in frame here. So these are, let's see if I got the color. This is Miyuki. There's 11-0s, and this is Duracoat Opaque Dyed Light Cadet Blue, and this one is Duracoat Opaque Dyed Medium Orchid. All right, so these are the two I'm going to use on the video. As I said, these two I will put in the description box. So we'll need those. You'll need a size 11 or 12 beading needle. You want a small needle here because it is sometimes tough to get through these beads when you're constantly reinforcing them. So, an 11 or 12 is going to give you a lot less grief than a 10. I'm using Fireline for this ring because and I'm using the black satin. To me, the black satin's a little thinner than than the other Fireline. So this one is a really good one for this ring. I've done several. I did samples in Wildfire and I didn't have a problem, but this is much easier getting through the beads. So 6-pound Fireline black satin is great for this ring. You're going to need a little stop bead. Let's see, let me find us a stop bead. Okay. Here, we'll grab one of these for a stop bead. Okay, come here, you. Here's a little stop bead, all right? There we go. So I have your stop bead. All right, so that's what you're going to need. Now, a couple other things. I know many of you have been having trouble trying to fit your rings properly. So I went to Joann Fabrics, and again, I'm going to link where I purchased these things. And I found this ring mandrel or sizer. And what's great about this is that if you can wrap a piece of paper around your ring size. Like I know that this ring, I'm going to make it an 8.5 because I have a big knuckle, so I need it to go over my knuckle. My ring size is actually about a 7.5, but because of this knuckle, I need to make it bigger. So I just took a piece of paper, I wrapped it around until it came there, and I just cut it right there. And now I know exactly, see that? I know exactly what, the size my ring's going to be. And then once you've made, you're making the ring, before you sew it together, you can kind of wrap it around here and you could, see, is it coming out right? So this is kind of a really cool thing to have, like $5 maybe, coupon, 40% off one item. Super, super deal. It's plastic, easy. And then one other thing, I noticed on Facebook that some of you are having trouble getting through the coin pearls, so I found these little tools, again, $5, $6, something like that. So here's, let's say this is a coin pearl. This is a rather large one, and you wouldn't have a trouble with this hole, but these little, these are rough here, and this is for a bead, not for a real pearl. A real pearl there's a special tool to go through the holes. But let's say you have a coin pearl and you're having a little trouble getting through. This is a very large hole on this one, but like the Swarovski coin pearls have a smaller hole. But you can get in like halfway with one end, and then you go around the other end. You just kind of, you can get the material that might be stuck in there and round it out a bit. These guys are for maybe, let's say your bead has some rough edges, so you're going to, do a little of that. And then this one, you have, again, might have a rough edge on a bicone or whatever, a bead, and you can use that. Again, very reasonably priced. Use your coupon. I'll put links to these both in the description box. All right, so let's move on. So we have all our materials here. So gather up everything and then meet me back here, and we'll start our Corona knot ring. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back. So thread your needle with about 5 feet of Fireline. Put on a stop bead, leave about a 12-inch tail. We're going to make 2 pieces, but we're just going to duplicate the one I'm showing you right now. So I pulled put these little 2 pieces out just to show you how the ring is going to be constructed if you haven't done the bracelet. So we're going to make 2 pieces, and then we're going to we're going to fold them over, just like this. So pretend these are the 2 pieces we're making, and we're going to put these one on top of the other, fold it over, and we're going to make a knot in the center. So that knot's going to take up some of the length of our pieces, so we're going to have to adjust it. All right, so this is what you're going to do. I'm going to give you some numbers here. So 11 seed beads equals an inch. So what I did is I did it on my mandrel. I know I'm making a size 8.5, so I put a piece of paper around here and I cut it to fit. Just like that. You can just put it around your finger and cut it to fit. Then I measured this. So that gives me 2 1/4 inches. So I'm just going to multiply my 18 by 2, and then I'm going to, do a quarter. So that comes to me, for me it comes out, so 18 times 2 is 36, and then I'm going to add on 6 beads. It's a little more than a quarter, 2 1/4, but it just works out that way. So I have 36, and 6 is 42 beads. And then you want to add some extra beads on to accommodate this knot. So you'll need about another inch of beads, 1.5 inches, 1 1/4, something like that. So at least 18 more seed beads. So I have my 42, and then if I add 18, that's going to give me 60. You might want to add on an extra couple. You can always, measure it around your finger as we go. You're going to do that anyway. But those are sort of some approximate measurements so that you can size this as close as possible. All right. So here I have my stop bead. I have my 60 beads on. My stop bead's at one end. I'm going to just wrap this around my finger like that. I'm just going to grab my beads, which I forgot to put out, just like that. Okay. So I'm going to pull in super tight because I'm using the 11/0s. Pick up 2. Here's my thread coming out. I'm just going to come down the last 2 beads, just like that. Put those 2 beads on. That's what it looks like. I'm going to come back up the 2 I just put on, just like that. That's what you have. Pick up a bead. See, that's what you have. Here's all your loose beads here. You're going to pick up a loose bead. So you're picking up a bead, come through a loose bead, and the 2 underneath it. So you're coming down 3, then up 3, just like that. Pick up a bead, grab a loose bead, come down 2 more, so come down 3. Just like that. Come across the bead you're coming out of to the bead you're directly across from the bead you're coming out of. Come up 3. Just like that. Okay, let's do that again. Pick up a bead, grab a loose bead, come down that bead and the 2 underneath it, so down 3. Up 3. Pick up a bead, grab a loose bead and the 2 underneath it, 3, up 3. Oops. Do that one more time. Pick up a bead, grab a loose bead and the 2 beads below it. Down 3, up 3. And because I'm not sure if that was too close, pick up a bead, pick up a loose bead and the 2 beneath, below, down 3, up 3, just like that. Okay, so you're going to do that all the way down to the end, and then you're going to make another one. So you're going to have 2 pieces just like this, and then meet me back here and we'll sew them together. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back and I have my 2 pieces. So here they are, all ready to go. Make sure that you have one end with the thread coming out of one end and one end with the thread coming out of the opposite side, so that way you can use one end to sew it together and the other end to connect the ring in the bottom. All right, so we're going to make a knot now. So take your pieces, you're just going to fold them in half, just like that. Put one on top of the other, just like that. You're going to take one side, come through that little hole that you made by putting them on top of each other. It's a little harder with the ring because you don't have as long pieces at the end. And come through the hole. Let me just pop it through. There we go. Just like that. See that? So I'm coming right through the hole. Let me pull my thread through. All right, so I have it like that. And then take the other one and come through the hole. Just like that. See? And then pull. And you got yourself a little knot. And don't worry about sewing them together because we're going to start at the end so that we know that we're going to sew them together properly. All right, so here we go. All right, make sure that your pieces are flat. You don't want them twisted, like you don't want one coming out like this. You want them flat, so make sure that they're always flat. You might have to, maneuver it a little bit. So as it's coming out, look on both sides and make sure they're flat. You don't want it twisted. All right, so that's what it's going to look like. So now don't worry about the knot if it gets loose or anything. It's really fine. I'm just going to take that stop bead off. So here I have my thread coming out of the end seed bead. And if you don't, just move your thread down there. It's not a big deal. Just like that. Come down the next 2, just like that. So we're just going to connect now. Then up these 2. And you. Just want to make sure I stay in frame. I'll go through one at a time there. You just want to come up those 2. I just had trouble because I want to keep myself in frame. So you're coming out of here, just go down 4. Just like that. Like I said, don't worry about the knot. What you can do is every once in a while you can kind of pull the knot down. You're going to eyeball the center of that knot. you're gonna, you can pretty much just about tell where the center is. Okay, and as we get it sewn together towards the ends, we'll put the knot closer in. All right, so here we're coming out of here. So you want to go directly across the bead you're coming out of. Go through that one and the one above it, just like that. Just make sure you're going through the bead directly across the one you're coming out of. Just like that. See? And then you're going to go across again and come down 4. So you're going up 2, down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that. Come directly through the bead, across from the bead you're coming out of, go up 2. Just like that. Come back directly across from the bead you're coming out of, go down 4. Do that again. Come directly across the bead you're coming out of, come up 2, going back, down 4. Okay, so this is what you're going to do, and you're going to adjust your knot a bit as you go, so that it looks, you want to get it as even as possible. I mean, it's, I'm fine, like I said, with eyeballing it. Sometimes your knot is a little bit bigger or smaller. You can actually make it bigger or smaller. Like this one has a pretty big knot. This one's a little bit smaller. So just like that. So do that until you get down to like sort of the end here. And then meet me back here and we'll sew the other side in. All right, see you in a few. Okay, so I have my one side done, and now I just took my, I've stopped at like right at the knot center here. So I'm just gonna take my another needle, or take the needle off that thread, and I'm gonna start sewing in the other end just to get it stable, and then we'll worry about tacking down the center after. So wherever your thread is coming out, just get over, to here. So you're coming down 2, and up 2, just to tack it down, and then you're coming down 4, up 2, coming across again. You're going to do the exact same thing you did on the other side. Just like that. Just to sew this end together. All right, so get that done till you get up to this point, and then meet me back here and we'll sew the ends in and tack down the knot. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back. So I've come to sort of the end here. I'm just a little bit under that part of the knot, and so I'm coming out of one of these seed beads underneath the knot right there, probably this one. So I'm just going to just, actually, I think what I'll do is I'm just going to look for a corresponding seed bead on the knot there, and I'm going to come through a couple of beads, just like this. So you don't want to mess the knot up. You want to keep it nice and fluid, but I want to tack it down a little bit. There. You're coming out of here, come down to the other side, come through one of those seed beads, okay, and then you want to come back up, find another corresponding bead. So here, I'm just going to do this with my thread, and I'm going to come back through a couple here. So see how I'm doing sort of almost like a square stitch around the beads just to tack it down. Then I'm going to come through a couple more here, and I don't think you need to tack on the bracelet. I tack down the edges too, but I don't really think you need to do it with this because I want to keep that nice and round. So then I would just take my thread and I would just sew along a few of these beads on the bottom, just like that. And what we can do here is you can tack down this side as well, and do it in the same manner. And then you have this center piece right here. Okay, so I have a lot of strings hanging down here. So I'm just going to, I just want to show you how to close it up in the center. So I'm going to rethread my needle and come there we go. So on the green piece, see where I am there. So I want to, so we're going to tack the other side down just like we did on, on this side, and then just this part here. We want to make sure we're tight. So I'm coming out of here. I'm just going to go across to the seed bead, across from it, come down a couple of beads like that, and then back up again. We're going around those like in a square, right? I just want to tighten that up so it doesn't come loose, and then I'm going to come back down again here, and then just you can just weave around through a couple more beads, let's say through these two. You can actually even tie a little half hitch knot, so go through a thread, make a loop, come through the loop, come back up these two. You don't really need to do a half hitch knot if you weave around enough. All right, so get those pieces done, and don't forget on this side to move your thread around and then sew this down as you did this end, okay? So then after that, meet me back here and then we'll sew the ends together. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back, so let's sew it together. So here we go. We're just gonna hold them together like this, and just make sure your thread, oh, here, let me turn it this way. Make sure your thread is coming out of an end seed bead. If it's not, just move your, needle through until you're coming through the end. So we're just going to attach the ends, just like that. So come up a couple of beads, just like that. And so you've come up two, just go directly across, just like that. Come down a couple more on this side. Very easy at this point. Come back through two on this side and then two on this side. Just like that. Come down two on this side. And this 6-pound Fireline is working really well. No problem getting through the beads. And then just go back and reinforce it. And then go through your ring. A couple more. Like that. So, then you're pretty much at this point reinforced, and you're going to tie your threads in. Should we give it a test on our mandrel to see if the size came out right? Now you could test it before you sew it together, but let's see, did I come out with about an 8.5? I did. So I'm very close to 8.5. I don't want to push it too tight. There you go. I guess if it's a little small, you can give it a little push, but this is just about right there. See? So let me try it on my finger and see if that works. All right, so I'm just going to put it on. Okay, so my fingers are a little damp. Okay, there you go. So there it is. This one has a little bit of a tighter, you can adjust a little bit of a tighter knot. Cute. Let me pull out. Okay, so there's our ring. All right, so here we'll pop that one. This one fits on like several different fingers. So here you go, here's our ring. I hope you enjoyed this video. Look how fast I made it. I pretty much made it with you. I did go off camera a little bit to finish the, the long pieces, but it didn't take very long. So here you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you make the ring and post it on Facebook and have lots of fun making it. And, think about this, or at least, the paper around the finger. All right then, so take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.